Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakester, welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my mid-season awards and just kind of like a quick breakdown on where we are about halfway through the NBA season. So in the comment section below, I want from you guys, your coach of the year as of right now, most improved, six-man defensive player, rookie of the year, and MVP. And I'm going to give you guys mine here now too. So the first one we're going to start with is the coach of the year award, and that's pretty much based off of a few factors. I think the most important is probably like team record, but not just that, because if that's the case, then I mean Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors win every single year. I also think you have to look at the conference, the talent around the roster that the coach has to work with, things like that. So you look at the Eastern Conference, and you got like Dwayne Casey, who was a good coach for the Toronto Raptors, but the Pistons are not very good this season. So he won it last year. So that makes me think that Nick Nurse, while the record's good, is he really just a product of the system? Does that make sense? You got like Mike Budweiser out there too. I know what's his name, man. Of the Milwaukee Bucks. He was like my second place guy at the record of 34-12. Like, that's who I was kind of thinking about. But then I looked over at the Western Conference and I saw like the Golden State Warriors were 33-14. And then I looked at the Denver Nuggets. Nobody really expected the Denver Nuggets to be like this good this season. I mean, we definitely expected them to be a good team within the mix. But I mean, they're 2 games behind the super team Golden State Warriors. So my coach of the year is going to Mike Malone, plain and simple, man. I don't know. I just felt like it was the right choice, in this case. As far as him as a coach, I mean, yeah, he does have a very talented roster, but he has all these guys playing well together. Like Monte Morris is a player you got to step up, not to mention their draft pick Michael Porter's been out for the season. Isaiah Thomas has not played yet, and they still seem to be winning basketball games. So I think that one definitely made sense, in my opinion, out there. So yeah, I guess we're gonna move on to the next one. So next up, we have the most improved player award, and this one was also very tough. You got like Sabonis out there, Buddy Hield. You got players like that have really just like stepped up their game. But there was one guy in particular that I was like, you know what, man, he's a big piece for this team this season. And I believe it's only his second year in the NBA, and he's taking that next. It might be his third year, I don't remember. But that is the man on the Toronto Raptors, Pascal Siakam. Averaging 18 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block per game. Just really being like that ultimate, just like glue guy on the team. I mean, he doesn't really always get like the headlines when it comes to the games. Although he did say the game-winning layup the other day, so that was pretty cool. But he's really fitting his role nicely and looking like a potential all-star in the future. So looking at like his career stats, I guess his stats last season as compared to right now, I mean, the points has doubled. The rebounding has nearly doubled. The assists, he's up 1 assist per game. Steals, I'm always good, on-ball defender. Blocks per game, I definitely think he has potential to be better in this department, and I think he'll get there eventually. Turnovers up a little bit, although he's getting a few more minutes out there. Then you got a 3-point shot. Like, okay, so yeah, it's his 3rd year in the NBA. First 2 seasons, wasn't really like knocking down the 3, but now proving that there is potential there. I mean, 32%, not the most amazing, but still a guy that, like, if he's sitting there in the corner, he's still like in your eye, like, okay, I gotta kind of watch him just a little bit. Field goal percentage at 57%, which is probably near the top of the NBA. Becoming a very respectable free throw shooter, which is good at a guy like that can like cut to the basket on the slash and things like that. So yeah, I've been very impressed with him this season. He is getting my most improved player as of right now. Now keep in mind, this can definitely change as the season goes on and everything. All right, next up we have the 6th Man of the Year award. So this one, I don't know, man, there's a lot of great 6 men out there. And this is the player that I was actually also think for most improved. But I just didn't feel right putting him there. So I thought 6 man kind of worked. You guys know who I'm talking about. The man Derrick Rose. I'm sorry. This guy has to win some sort of award this season. It just needs to happen. So, as I know, he's not starting right now for the Timberwolves. I don't know if like Jeff Teague's been injured at all, if he's like starting any games. But I'm pretty sure for the most part, Derrick Rose comes off the bench. So yeah, it says, yeah, games played 36, games started 11. So I'm pretty much saying he's a bench player. But yeah, guys, just such a great story at 19 points, 5 assists per game. The reason I didn't really consider him for like the most improved player is because for me, a most improved is somebody that's never been there before, that's really stepped up and became a very solidified rotational or star player in the NBA. So like Derrick Rose, I mean, he's got an MVP award. So unless he wins like an MVP award, then you can't really get, again, with better stats, you can't really say he's the most improved. So I thought 6 man was nice. I don't know, man, like Derrick Rose, I love that he's knocking out a 3-point shot. The fact he was able to add that to his game was big time. But like besides for last season, this is nothing new for D-Rose. Like, yeah, he's had like injury issues throughout his entire career, but I mean, the season before in New York, 18 points, 4 assists. Like, he's always been able to get it done to some extent. Really, just the only thing he's really added this season was the 3-point shot, and maybe probably taking a few less shots would be my guess. And what's his yeah, field goals made? I mean, I guess you can't really tell like how many he's like taken like compared to the New York Knicks season there, but Chicago was always good. So like he's always been good when healthy. So I don't know, I thought 6-man felt about right. Next up, we have the Defensive Player of the Year award. Probably my toughest one to actually come up with, because I was considering Paul George of the OKC Thunder. He's got one of the best defensive ratings in the NBA. His on-ball defense is great, averaging about 2 blocks per game. So like, let me say, the guy I'm going to pick is like literally just in front of him, in my opinion. And I could be wrong. Like, this could just be wrong. But I had to take a few, I look at things like defensive rating, block percentage, steal percentage, things like that. Just took a lot of different things into consideration when going through this. So Paul George, unfortunately, is not going to be getting it for me. The guy that gets it, in my opinion, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I feel like Giannis has been the best defensive player in the NBA, averaging 1.4 blocks per game. The steals are up too, so it's like, yeah, I mean, Paul George is a little bit better when it comes to stealing the basketball. I just feel like Giannis at 6'11", 240 pounds, I mean, he can guard positions 1 through 5, and that's exactly what he can do in the defense. So, I don't know, man. It was a tough one. I had to give Giannis this award, but in my opinion, Paul George could very well also win it. It came down to like defensive rating and efficiency and things like that. So finally, we go down to the MVP award, and the player I'm going to pick is probably also a big reason why I had to like give Giannis this stat, because Giannis is not my MVP this season, believe it or not, guys. He's right there, but he's not my MVP this season. The guy I will be giving the MVP award to is none other than the scoring machine, setback man himself, James Harden. I'm sorry, guys. This team is 26-20. They could very well, based off their injuries, if any other team out there lost like 2 or 3 of their top 4 players, it had the same chemistry issues with Melo, that team would not be in the playoffs. The fact that James Harden is literally like he's literally carrying this team on his beard, man, all by himself. 36 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals per game, nearly a block per game. Shooting 44% field goal percentage, which is actually pretty efficient considering, defenses know that he is like the only viable option on offense as of right now on this team. Capella, Avery Gordon, Chris Paul, like that being injured this season, man. Shooting a nice 38% from 3 on 13 attempts per game, getting to the free throw line, of course. I mean, Giannis has been great. Paul George has been great. But been a lot of really good NBA players out there this season, guys. Let's go to actually go to the league leaders real quick here, just so we get a better idea. But nobody's doing what James Harden is doing this season. Like, just nobody is. So he gets that award to me. Anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section below what your awards are looking like. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.